What's up everyone, Clark Glassford, founder of My Practice Interview, where I help you land your dream job with over 25 years professional HR experience and an interview coach. I help you navigate through all the little tricks and pitfalls and little things about the interview process so that you can land your dream job. And today we're focusing on a really common question, which is, why do you want the job? Well, you're like, okay, well, I've heard that like a million times, and yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer, Clark. Well, you say that, but the amount of applicants I see that really struggle with this question is staggering, and I want to make sure you don't stagger through this question, you ace this question with my 3-step formula that will help you blow the interviewer away with your answer. But before we get there, you're here for a reason. You're here for interview advice. You're here to know how to write a resume, how to prepare for job interviews, how to avoid all the little mistakes applicants make. You've come to the right place. Every single week, I launch new videos on my YouTube channel with great tips, great advice on how you can achieve your job dreams. So like, subscribe, check out my channel, share it with your network of people. It's a great place for you to get good resources. Now, as a bonus, in the links below is a copy of My Practice Interview ebook. It's absolutely free, and it walks you through step by step what you need to do to prepare for the job interview, starting with how you craft an amazing opening statement about who you are, what you bring to the role, the different interview questions you can be asked, how to answer those questions, and then all the little mistakes applicants make and how you don't make those mistakes so that you hear the magic words, you're hired. It's a great ebook. It's free. It's kind of a no-brainer. You got to just download it. Check out the links below. Download it right now. But with all that said, we got to get going. So here we go. So there are 2 fundamentally common questions you can be asked at any interview. One is, why do you want the job, which we're going to talk about today. The other one is at the end of the interview, which is, do you have any questions for me? Now, we're not covering off that one today, but lucky for you, link here, links below. I've got another video that covers off that last question that you want to be prepared for in the interview. But today's is, why do you want the job? And so many applicants are not prepared for this question, or at least not prepared in the right way with the right formulas to how they want to structure an answer so that they can impress any hiring manager or recruiter. So let's start with, well, what not to say. So tell me, why do you want this job, or why did you apply for this role? I think it's because I want more money. You don't want to say that. Well, I think it's because my commute is going to be shorter, so I like that better. No, you don't want that. Or you say something like, I don't know, it just seems like a good opportunity, I guess. No, you don't want to say that either. You want to be very specific in how you craft your response to this question with statements that will excite the hiring manager. They want to know you want to work for them. They want to hear that you're excited about working for them, that you know about the company, that your job and background experience, all those skill sets you have align to the job that you're applying for. They want to hear that. So simple statements like, I want more money, I like the benefits, you have a nice office. Yeah, those aren't really going to cut it. So you want to be specific, and you want to craft an answer in advance. We're going to talk about that in a second with this 3-step formula. So step number 1, show off why you're excited about the company. I want to know as a hiring manager that you really want to work for. I want to hear that you're super excited to work for me and to work for this organization. So your answer needs to start with that you're excited for the company. You're excited about the role and why that is and why you want to work for me. That's where you start. So you have to have a statement starting with that. Step number 2, connect your skills to the job description. So this isn't a regurgitation of your resume. You're not going through every detail on that resume and cover letter as to why your background is suited for this role, but you want to pick out key things that will say, this is why I'm an excellent person for this role and why I'm excited about this specific job. And then you want to end off, which is step number 3, where this role sits on your career path. So how this all aligns to your career path and where you're going in your career. And that's how you wrap a nice bow on answering this question. So you're like, okay, well, that sounds great, Clark, but give me an example. Well, good news. I do have an example. And this is from a client who I helped craft their response. They practiced this response, and it was one of the key pieces in sealing the deal for the job offer they received, which, by the way, paid them quite a bit more money than they were currently getting. But it's because of things like this and the preparation they put in on the front end to answer these types of questions. So here is what they said for the role they were applying for. I have admired this company's successful strategies and mission for years. Your emphasis on creating a relationship between your company and your surrounding community have brought you incredible success. These are values that I greatly admire and are aligned to my own. I want this job because it emphasizes sales and marketing, two of my greatest skill sets. In my previous job, I increased sales by 15% in what at the time was considered a flat industry. I know I could bring my 10 years of sales and marketing experience to this company and help you continue your years of growth. I've been looking for a position where I can utilize my skills while giving back to the community at the same time. This is the perfect role to continue to grow my career with an exceptional organization. So as you can see, their response covered those three areas. They showed excitement for the company. They aligned their background, their skills, their experience to the job that they were applying for. They didn't regurgitate their entire resume, but they talked about a few little key things, especially on the sales side, that was relevant to the role they were applying for. And then they tied it off with how this aligns with their career and their career goals and getting into a company that aligned with all of that. That is the secret recipe. That's the secret sauce on how you answer a question like that. It's absolutely killer in terms of wowing that hiring manager or recruiter, being able to walk in and be able to deliver a message like that. It's a common question, but so few people actually get the answer right. So 2 tips before we leave this video here today are, 1, you need to be specific. So it's important that you're specific in the way you respond to this question, specific about the company, the role, specific about your skill sets and how they align with your career is absolutely key. Vague answers like, I want it because of salary, I want it because of benefits, or I don't know. Those aren't answers that any hiring manager wants to hear. So be specific, align it to those 3 steps we talked about. Tip number 2, I have an interview question playlist that you can look at here and here. There's where the links are for that go through a whole bunch of interview questions and the common questions that are asked. You can look at those as part of preparing, right? That's the key here, is preparing for your interview. So you can prepare for your interview not only with questions like this, but with other questions that are commonly asked in interviews. So check out that playlist, and it all comes down to, you've heard me say it before, preparation and practice. You cannot walk into an interview cold and hoping to wing it. You must prepare, and this is an exact example of that, with a very common question that you can prepare an extremely powerful response with by preparing in advance, by practicing, by building confidence, so you can rock it. Well, that said, we're out of time, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. Like I always say, keep rocking those interviews. Until next time.